Dr. K, welcome back to a brand new video. Forgot to shoot the intro for this one. Took the M5 CS for a ride. Did a little cars and coaching. It's just July. Now we're sitting here. It's November. Usually by now we already have snowfall. Haven't had anything yet, which I'm okay with. So we're talking about value. So from a physician perspective, that's a huge problem, right? Because I remember even when I was starting and I ran my ER group. So it was me and 3 other guys. And when we started, we covered the ER. That's 365 days a year, 8,760 hours with 4 of us for one whole year. So do the math. Every 4th day you were somewhere, right? You were there working. So even though our value was to be with our family, there were things that I missed when my son Michael was growing up, right? I actually worked every Thanksgiving for over 20 years. Every Christmas Eve for over 20 years. Every Christmas Day morning for over 20 years. So that's the sacrifice that I made. Now, was it worth it? Was it worth it from what I was sacrificing? Or should I actually have been looking at my values and said, hey, listen, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to pay somebody else to do it that it doesn't matter to and actually live by my values. So we always struggle. It's a tug of war between what we think we want and what we should actually do. So you physicians out there, you have to understand, what are your values? How do you go ahead and put those curbs in so that you're not extending your boundaries and then you end up being burnt out? Coming across the Fox River. So there's an east side of the river and a west side of the river, and we live on the east side, but we're going for a cup of coffee on the north side. You can see this really changed significantly since I moved here in the early 90s. None of this building was here, the restaurants weren't here. So values are extremely important. And it's actually interesting that it says that people who go back to their values tend to be less stressed. So if you actually Google values, they'll give you a million things. So, your values could be your health, your values could be family, your values could be honesty, and things of that nature. If you live by those values, then everything tends to be pretty good. But if you go against your values, that's a problem. And for those of you who've been watching the other videos, one of the things that actually makes a difference in burnout is a mismatch in values, right? So the organization that you're working for, whether that's a healthcare system or whatever, has different values than you do. That creates a problem. So getting to your values, understanding your values, and living by them is important. But it goes back to what we were talking about. You got to be honest and not rationalize. So you can't say, oh, I value my family and never be home. You can't say I value my health and order a pizza, and I've been guilty of both of those things, right? Thanks for watching. Had fun going for coffee with Michael, doing a little cars and coaching, give you a little bit of my tidbits. Not that I know it all, but I have failed in so many things in my life that I know some things, and I just like to pass those on.